Well, I'm going to attempt to fold a couple of video responses into this one response. I guess the first, most direct question was basically accepting my morality, my definition of an objective morality. The question is, how would we stop people who are behaving immorally? And the problem there you run into is that we have, as I explained before, there's two different moralities as I see it. There's this real one, this truth that's out there, and then there's this ethics or this morality we have to live with inside this uncertain human community, where we have to basically respect each other's right to be immoral, to violate what we might consider to be the truth and the ethics or the value that truth defines for us. We have to basically watch it get abused, raped, pillaged, destroyed, and accept that because of the fact that we cannot demonstrate with any proof, with any substantial enough proof, that our morality is the morality. Now, there's plenty of people who think they have a right, Christians and such, to tell other people what they have to perceive. They see a fertilized egg as a human being. They see maybe even a third trimester fetus as a human being, and they think they have a right to tell other people that they also have to see that. And I would argue that to some extent they do have a right, but it comes with a certain, I think the idea of democracy works in this sense, in that you have this constitution, you have these basic precepts, this foundational law, and then you build other law on top of it. And these foundational law is, the free speech thing, and the equal rights thing, and the equal treatment thing, and to amend those basics, you really have to have a consensus, not merely a majority, but a consensus, a substantial popular opinion. And it doesn't make it right, it just makes it more certain or more reliable than a mere majority. And so that's what I would put things like abortion laws and other things. They should be in that, they should require that consensus. You shouldn't be able to tell another person that being gay is wrong without a supermajority of people believing that. So until it can be demonstrated decisively, yeah, all relationships are equal, and people should have equal rights in their relationship, and they should be able to have the same benefits of within the construct of the society, health care and social security and inheritance rights and all the rest of this stuff should be equal in those relationships as they are in any other heterosexual relationship. So that's what I would, that's the social contract, and people are violating that social contract now because of their arrogance. And in my past, I might have been willing to violate that social contract because I didn't quite understand it, and I would say in my younger years, I might have thought it would be okay to have a mere majority to say it was wrong to hunt other animals, and that it was wrong to eat them. But with time I've learned to appreciate that it's my obligation to convince people that they're being immoral, that they're committing a trespass against the value of their own life, that they are destroying the value of their own life by violating the rules of life, which are that you cannot be imposing suffering. You can, but you've got to be so valuable in your benefit to life on this planet and society that you compensate for that price. So in essence, maybe you can be a very good joke teller and you can make people very happy, and so you could justify causing some grief and hardship because you prevented grief and hardship in your capacity to give people comfort. But regardless, so the bottom line answer to the question is yeah, there's no, the morality doesn't dictate what your, the objective morality doesn't have a rule about how you create the end. It isn't concerned with means. Social morality is completely obsessed with means. The means are everything. The end isn't necessarily what's important. The intentions are what have to be respected. And in the absolute objective morality, the truth, it wouldn't matter if I killed, if I committed a genocide, if in the end that genocide was to prevent a greater genocide, then committing the genocide would be justified. It would be morally justified because the end result was a decrease in suffering. But like I said, standing in our position of insecure ignorance, it would be a very bold step to have the confidence to ever impose the judgment of morality on any other people. I mean, they have to kind of, so the answer is, yeah, you have to convince them, maybe you can kick them in the ass. I mean, you might be able to do impose something on them besides just words, but I mean, yeah, you're limited. You don't have a lot of right to prevent people from being immoral motherfuckers and for being unproductive. And so another comment I got received was basically along those lines is that, well, what good is this morality if there's no enforcement agency? And that's part of the catch of absolute and objective morality, is that its end is built in, the punishment is built in, because we are all equal. My suffering is not only equal to another human's suffering, but qualitatively there are degrees of suffering within the whole animal community, and all that counts. And there might not be exact parity, but whatever, you want to have some stupid equation that says 2 giraffes and a koala bear equal 1 human, whatever the equation is, but it exists. There's an equation there. And in the end, if we like I said, the punishment is in the deed. If you are being unproductive, you are harming effectively yourself. There's nothing else out here to harm but other conscious things. And so it's consciousness as a whole that you are destroying, then it is yourself. It really doesn't matter whether you're doing the suffering or they're doing the suffering. If that statement is true, if it doesn't matter to the universe or to the objective morality which individual is doing the suffering, then it doesn't matter. It really just doesn't matter. So in a sense, you can't really, personally escaping it doesn't mean anything. If you create it, it exists. It doesn't matter whether you personally are experiencing the punishment for your deed. The fact is, you have imposed the punishment on a thing of equal value, a thing of like I said, equal. I can't find a better word for it. I mean, it is the same. It is yourself. We are in this together. And so it's like violating your own sister, or violating your own mother or father, or whatever thing you can care about almost to an equality to yourself. It is the same as violating them. It is the same. You can't escape, is all I'm saying, is that the punishment is built in. And so that's why it's not about punishing, it's about preventing. It's about stopping acts from happening. And deterrence, it has to, as a practical matter in our society, we do create that, but deterrence that comes at a price, and like I said, in the objective universe, you'd have to be very careful about how you apply that deterrence, because you are imposing suffering or discomfort or deprivation, and you're going to have to come up with something of enough value to justify that. And so it's just, I mean, I wish there were. It's frustrating that we have to live with all these questions unanswered decisively, and that it just takes so much work to get people to appreciate what seems so obvious. I mean, something like our equality is just so obvious, and people just don't get it. They subjectively go through life and think that somehow their kids are actually better than other people's kids. They really think it. And you know, and they live by it, which is even scarier. They invest in that judgment, and it's just so flawed.